finally ready to go ahead and start painting. The first brush that we're going to use for the background to cover most of it is going to be that large flat brush, okay? So make sure you go ahead and put your brushes down, bristle down into the water so that they're soaking, and then whenever you use them, make sure you keep them in the water, because if you let it dry out with that acrylic paint on the brush, you'll ruin the brush and you won't be able to use it anymore. So I'm gonna take the brush out of the water, I'm gonna dab it off on that paper towel or napkin that you have, and I'm gonna paint mine in like a nighttime kind of sky. So the colors that I'm gonna use first are going to be white, I'm going to use blue, and I'm going to use a little bit of black, okay? So on the paper plate that you have, I'm going to use some blue, and like I said, a little bit of black. So my sky is going to be darker up here at the top, and it's going to be lighter down here at the bottom. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my brush, and then I'm going to grab some white, a lot of white, and then maybe like a little bit of blue. Make sure you grab the paint from like off of the side of the little blob, because if you grab it from the middle, you'll like taint the whole blob of color and you can't use it anymore. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go directly into my background. I'm going to make this kind of egg swipe. Kind of go back and forth just like that. It's okay if you get on top of the tower, because when over it in Sharpie, it'll still show through. So I'm just going to go back and forth into my background, swiping back and forth with this light blue color. Grab some more color as you need it. Again, like I said, just swiping back and forth so it kind of gets like a little texture look in the background. Make sure you get right here in between the tower, this little bitty triangle that's in here, make sure you get that painted too. So like I said, after I brought it up about halfway or so, don't forget those sides. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna switch to a darker color, okay? So I'm gonna wipe my brush off. If you wanna wash it, you can. So I'm gonna just dip it in the water, tap it in the bottom of the cup just a little bit. Wipe it off on that napkin. And then I'm going to grab blue by itself. So I'm going to grab blue, and I'm going to continue where I left off, okay? So I'm going to still do that swipe back and forth. You can touch some of that light blue. Alright, great. So now that we have that blue on there, remember I told you to leave a smidge up here at the top. That's not painted, because that's where we're going to add the black. So I'm not going to wash my brush off. I'm going to grab a little bit of that black. Make sure you go easy on this black, okay? It's a really, really powerful color, and if you grab too much of it, the whole thing is going to turn black, okay? So I'm going to start up here at the top. I'm just going to put a little bit of that black on here. I'm still going that swipe back and forth, that same motion we've been using. And I'm going to add this black so it can turn into a dark sky up here at the top. When you're working that black into the blue, make sure you don't bring it down too far, because remember I said this black is really, really powerful, okay? So you don't want to bring it down too far, else everything is going to turn black and gray, okay? When you're putting that black on there, you can use it for up here at the very top of the canvas, for that top side. So our night sky is not complete without a couple little stars. There are a few different ways that you can put stars on there. We're going to grab our teeny tiny little round brush for this. Take it out the cup, wipe it off on that napkin. So there's two ways you can do this. You can use the other end of the brush, so literally the butt of the brush. I'm going to dip it in white, and then you can dot on here a couple little stars. The other way is to grab the medium round brush, take it out the water, wipe it off on that napkin. I'm going to grab a little bit of white, okay? I'm going to bring it kind of over to the side, I'm gonna grab some water from my cup and kind of water it down just a little bit. You want it to kind of be runny like milk, okay? And then you're gonna grab this watered down white, right? And you're gonna flick your finger across the top, and it's gonna flick on a couple little stars for you, okay? You can kind of put them all over wherever you want them. You can make some a little bit bigger than the other. You can go back with a little white and maybe put a couple bigger ones here and there. And then our background is done. So from here, what we're gonna do is just let it dry. If you have a blow dryer, you can blow dry it. You'll know that when the acrylic paint is dry, when it does not look shiny anymore. If it has like a shine or a glare to it, that means it's still wet and you don't want to touch it until it's dry. So now that my Eiffel Tower is dry, I'm going to go back over the tower and I'm going to paint it all in with gray, okay? So you mix gray with black and white. And I'm going to use that round brush, the medium round brush. Make sure it's clean. Wipe it off on that napkin. I'm just going to grab some white and I'm going to grab a little bit of black, not too much, just a tiny little smidge of it. And I'm going to mix those two colors together.